something subtle slipped into the noise of All-Star Weekend. And if you weren't paying close attention, you probably missed it. Because, while the NBA trade deadline came and went with Giannis Antetokounmpo still wearing a Milwaukee Bucks jersey, the real story may not have been about what happened, but about what might be coming next. Earlier this month, the deadline passed without the seismic move many fans were bracing for. No blockbuster, no last-minute chaos. Giannis stayed. The Bucks chose to hold on to their two-time NBA MVP and push any serious trade conversations into the summer. On the surface, that sounds like stability, but here's where things get interesting. That single decision may have quietly shifted the balance of power for one specific franchise, the Los Angeles Lakers. Because while other contenders might have had the assets to enter a mid-season bidding war, the Lakers simply didn't. They lacked the trade ammunition to realistically compete with aggressive suitors chasing a perennial all-star of Giannis' caliber, and yet, paradoxically, Giannis staying in Milwaukee for the remainder of the 2025-26 season may have helped Los Angeles more than anyone expected. Why? Because time changes leverage. The offseason is a different battlefield. More flexibility, more movable contracts, more draft capital in play, and most importantly, more room to construct something that once seemed nearly impossible. A trade package attractive enough to make Milwaukee listen. The Lakers, who were essentially sidelined at the deadline, suddenly gain a second chance when the summer opens its doors. Now imagine the implications of that, pairing Giannis Antetokounmpo with Luka Doncic, not as a fantasy, not as a video game scenario, but as a legitimate organizational objective for the foreseeable future. And just when speculation began to simmer, Giannis himself added fuel. Not by demanding anything, not by creating drama, but through something far more powerful, honesty wrapped in nostalgia. During an ESPN interview with Malika Andrews aired over All-Star Weekend, Antetokounmpo opened up about his mindset, his loyalty, and intriguingly, his childhood dreams. As of today, I'm committed to the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis said, firmly. He emphasized his dedication to his teammates, the coaching staff, Coach Doc Rivers, and GM John Horst. He doubled down in a way that sounded resolute, almost defiant. You will never hear me say, I don't want to be a Milwaukee Buck. Strong words, convincing words. But then came the turn. Growing up, you dream. What if I played for the Knicks? Madison Square Garden. What if I get drafted by the Lakers and I'm teammates with Kobe Bryant? What if I go play for the Cavs and LeBron James passes me the ball? And just like that, the conversation changed. Because no, Giannis wasn't asking out. He wasn't hinting at dissatisfaction, but he acknowledged something deeply human, that even superstars imagine alternate paths. That even franchise cornerstones once dreamed about different jerseys, different arenas, different legacies. And this is the part nobody expected. Not a trade request, but an admission of possibility. He clarified immediately. But this is my team, and I love it. Yet in the NBA, love and longevity don't always move in lockstep. At this point, Giannis publicly stating he wants to leave Milwaukee still feels unlikely. That narrative hasn't cracked. That stance hasn't softened. But within league circles and front offices, there's a growing sense that a move may not be a question of if, but when. And if that moment arrives this summer, Los Angeles could emerge as a very real destination, provided they assemble the most compelling trade package. But hold on, before Lakers fans start designing championship parades, there's a critical reality check. Competition. Even though the Lakers' odds of acquiring Antetokounmpo have improved, with the deadline now behind us, the road ahead is anything but clear. The New York Knicks, a franchise Giannis himself mentioned, are expected to be firmly in the race, and they won't be alone. The Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Multiple teams have already been linked to the one-time NBA champion, and each of them could present serious challenges in a summer bidding war. Different assets, different timelines, different pitches. And remember, Milwaukee won't just trade a generational talent for anything less than a franchise-altering return. So, the tension builds. Will the Bucks double down on continuity? Will they pivot toward a reset? Will Giannis remain the centerpiece or become the centerpiece of the league's next blockbuster saga? The summer is coming, and the biggest move may still be waiting in the shadows.